Well, hello, this is Hiro again. Um, this is the Japanese maple. Actually, this was hidden in plain sight. This never looked like much, so I just had it, and I more or less ignored it for about 3 years. Well, I don't want to work on any of these big ones anymore if I don't have to. But then there was a guy that said, "Don't you have any big Japanese maples?" And I said, "Well, I used to have a lot of them." Then I thought, maybe this one. And actually, it looks like it has some potential. So I thought I'd go ahead and get started. First of all, it got healthy because the roots came out the drain hole. So I'm just going to cut it. You've seen me do this before, so I'll just go ahead and do it. But, you could see where I drew the line, right? There it is. Actually, when I took it out of the pot, it has a pretty good root flare, huh? And then I think what I didn't like in the past was this straight part right here. It really looked terrible. Then I tried to make a new apex, and then I think it died, right? But you could see now that it's starting to take shape. So the 3 years, 4 years of neglect has made this thing so that it's has some possibilities. Actually, it might even look pretty good once I get it all cleaned up. Okay, this is the root that I cut off, right? More than half. But in the past, I think you've seen me save these. If this was a Chinese elm, wisteria or something like that, I could save it, and then the cut roots will resprout. Well, not on the Japanese maple, so this is just going to get dumped. Well, it looks like a perfect fit. It could be a shade smaller, but not bad. Things grow, and since I really don't have another one like this, it could have been in a round pot, but this one here has the nice design on it. This pot has this design, right? It's a Chinese pot on the better end. This design, and the Japanese thinking on selection of pots is if you have a deciduous, you could use either a color glazed one or design to compensate for not having foliage at the top. That's the thinking. My thinking is, hey, whatever it fits is close enough, because it's really hard to get the exact right pot. So I've been telling my students that if you find a pot that you like, get it, because it's easier to fit a tree than to find the right pot after you have the tree. That's sort of the reality around here. So what do we need to do? Well, remember I told you this was neglected. See, all this stuff here is dead, and then this died, right? But that's not bad if we use that as the backside. So I'm looking at just cutting this off, because a new apex have grown back. When I was trying to get this to be the apex and there was nothing down here, it was sad looking. But now that this has grown back, we could easily just cut that off. So that's what I'll do. Okay, that being taken out, we hardly miss anything, do we? Looking at the back side, Just one cut. And you see the slightly whitish on the left side? Well, that's the live side, right? So it could start rolling over and hide some of this stuff. So now I'm just going to rake the sides a little bit, make sure it's not coiled, and then backfill. And then we'll do some fine tuning. Okay, I got it potted up. Now, remember we talked about pruning maples in the middle of winter? It's better if we don't do it, but some of this should be done because we could see the problems. But what happens in winter is that there is more chance for dieback because they have a tendency to bleed, right? Okay, so let's do some minor things because we could actually see what we're looking at. Okay, this dieback I'm talking about example is right here. It was cut here, and then so it dries out and dies back, right? So what we don't want to do is to cut really close. Then if it dies back, it might kill the branch that you wanted. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of dieback. Now, as we get into warmer season, towards June, you could actually flush cut in the first time and it should be okay. But in the dead of winter, there is a tremendous chance of dieback. Okay, one of the things I wanted to address was right here. See these two? They're running almost parallel, and if left untouched, it could actually fuse together. So one needs to go. So the question is, do I get rid of the one in the back or this one in the front? Now, the front of the tree is over here. So this is like the side branch. And these are all the questions that everybody has to go through every time you're working on a tree. So I have to decide this forward one to take off or the back one to take off. Remember I was telling you this was just an ugly tree to me, so I just did a rough cut here and look what happened. And I'm thinking in terms of the quality of the branch. Now, I'm going to stay with the one in the forward side because this one in the back, it has this thing that shoot out that needs to be removed. This one is a lot smoother. So I'll go ahead and take this out, but with a dieback space. So I'm going to give it plenty of space. It might reshoot again. Oh, no, it's not. See? So as it gets warmer and this dies back, we'll cut back down to here. But don't try to do that in one shot. This one could potentially become a problem, so I'm going to cut it off here. We'll let these do the work, right? Kind of the same theory over here and over here. And then just let it go with that. Over here, these two are running parallel on top of each other. But if I take this center part out, we have these side branches that will keep it nice and full. And then over here, I want to go up this line, give plenty of dieback space. So it could die here, it could actually die down to here, and we're still okay. So now we got these branches that are going horizontal. Like I was saying, I didn't pay a lot of attention, so this crazy thing came up, so I'm just going to cut it here. Actually, you might be able to take it off there, but you might fill in there. So I guess we should kind of address the apex. Okay, towards the apex. This one is trying to compete with the apex. So, no, I think I'd be better off here. And then we'll go up that line, so we'll get rid of this. And then, oh yeah, look at this crazy thing that went straight. That could be taken off completely, but I'll go ahead and leave it for now. And then up here, somewhere, and then we'll refigure this as it get to the next growing stage. So I think for now, I think this is about it. I believe this is the front, so this coming year we'll tighten these up. But for now, I think this is good. And if this pot was maybe, an inch all around smaller, it might have been better. But this is the closest I have, so this is what we use. So anyway, hopefully the guy that wanted a big maple likes this one, because I sure don't want to have it around here. This is heavy. So I'm going to have to look for a table that is similar in height and just slide it off, because it's now too heavy to carry. Thinking back 10 years ago, I would have thought nothing about picking this up and put it somewhere. But now I think about it. And so anyway, this is going to get put somewhere, and then hopefully we'll have time to see it being developed further as it leaves out. So, those of you that are seriously into bonsai, if you're looking for a good quality deciduous one, do it in dead of winter. Then you have no foliage to confuse you in terms of the line. So this one here, as much as I disliked it about 5, 6, 7 years ago, is turning out to be pretty nice. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. So this was the Japanese maple. It's a green seedling that was neglected.